This is your typical early 90s, second generation Toyota 4Runner with the very typical rear window problem. It's a mechanical mechanism with a small motor and a big ring gear mechanism. And you want to get in here and you want to give it some grease that it always does need. You should probably do this once a year if you can. So to get at it, we're going to take the inspection cover off and the vapor seal, and simple. If it has the factory fasteners on it, it should be Phillips head, and you just need any kind of standard number 2 Phillips screwdriver. You can take this off in just a few minutes. So this is a nice vapor seal. It's been taken off maybe a couple times before, so we're going to take it off as careful as we can, just to expose what we need to see. It's your ring gear mechanism here, your motors here, it's your communication here, and your limit switches. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up so we can expose the ring gear and the tracks on the bottom of the window, so we can apply some wheel bearing grease so it will go up smoothly as possible. Once it's at this point, if you have it down, the only way to get it up is to use the key, or we can just energize the motor directly. And if you try to use the key, what you're going to find is that it knows that it's down. So when you go to engage the key, it knows that the latches aren't latched. So you can do it a couple different ways, and you can fool the relay by closing the latches manually. So we can get any kind of tool and just close each jaw. Each jaw has a plug that sends the communication to the relay and the motor, so it'll allow it to get the power. So now we go up, and as we go up, it exposes different sections of the gear that need to have grease applied to it. As you can see, your arms off the regulator will travel in the bottom side of the actual glass. These do like to seize up from inactivity. So what you want to do is you want to get any kind of grease, whether it's lithium or wheel bearing grease, and I have some. I use wheel bearing grease. Use your finger, it gets messy. I use a little brush, doesn't really matter too much, but apply generously and get it everywhere where teeth mesh with other teeth. This is a spring set here to keep the tension. And coat this, and we'll get a bunch in the rail here. Once you coat this with grease, you want to make sure it's going to travel up and down, and it's going to work the grease everywhere it needs to. And for the areas that you can't get at right now, you'll be able to see that you'll have to cycle it up. All in all, ideally this should take you less than 20 minutes, half an hour. So now it's up here, we're going to move it again. If you don't have the key in the back, or perhaps that your lock cylinder is frozen or just not working, or it's not communicating to the motor, we can take the plug off the motor directly, and we can energize it locally by just taking a battery source, any 12-volt battery, or a jumper pack like this is. I happen to have a little pigtail that's made just for this, but you pretty much want to get at both points here. This is 12 volts. You can't hurt yourself with this, it's pretty simple. You're going to drive it up, and for the opposite direction, you're just going to reverse the polarity. So like so. It's also a good idea while you're in here to grease the cables, the draw cables that work both latches. Now as far as where this the window is going to travel up and down in, we can use some penetrating wool. Silicone spray likes to evaporate. If it's really dry and you got a lot of dirt or sediment, I'd recommend taking the run channel sleeves right out and cleaning with soap and water. But this isn't too bad, they just get dried. So grease is pretty sloppy, but you can easily access it from the side with a sprayer, and you can get it from the top here as well. And we'll get this thing up again. And we're all greased. Okay, so we're gonna put the factory plug back in. And now we're back with the key. Now it's unlocked, you can actually just pull the handle and it'll release the latches on either side. And they are. And now you can put this back together, and that's just pretty much what we took apart, but in reverse. And we're done.